Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of the standard SWW show. I'm AJ, that's Mike over there. While Mike and I are recording this, it's currently, feels like 40 below outside our houses.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Michigan's basically been shut down for the past 3 days.
You act like that's a problem. Do you not just... Is that not normal for you?
I mean, I'd say probably 20 below is normal, but...
Because technically, you're more north than me, technically, right?
Yes, but because of the lake,
by
that's an insulating factor.
I also know that we're relatively close in latitude.
Yeah, I was saying, in terms of latitude, it's not that far, but... Yeah, we have the lake that insulates us, because in the northern hemisphere, winds blow west to east.
That is sure how that... I believe you.
And so the winds go over the lake, heat up, and then, kind of drop that heat off over us, which is why, Michigan won't get as cold, but we'll get more snow than Chicago.
Which is interesting.
Not really, because, if you think about it, right, if the lake is open, then that, it's evaporating, and so there's just this, there's a ton of moisture, and it gets, into the air, and if the air's cold, then it turns into snow. So it's not, it's not unheard of to, we can see anywhere from a 2 to 6 inch snow difference from where I am to Grand Rapids, which isn't that far. It's only 30 miles, but because it's so especially if we get really dry air that comes across, we can get a ton of snow by the lake and then nothing in Grand Rapids. But yeah, so it's officially winter. I joked that this is the beginning of the day after tomorrow.
No, it's just called tomorrow. I've seen those memes over and crossed everything off and it just says tomorrow.
No.
Yeah, I've seen people with just the meme. It's just the title screen, but everyone just blacked out the day after part with a marker. It was yesterday they were posting this.
Gotcha.
It's funny, in theory. Yeah. So I want to complain for a second before we get into the normal proceedings of the show. So you know how Howard Schultz, the former Stoic CEOs, are running for POTUS?
Who?
I have my Howard Schultz. He's running for POTUS.
Oh, the former Starbucks guy?
Yeah, so here's my complaint of the day. So he did an interview, and someone asked him how much a box of Cheerio cost, and then people make fun of him because he didn't have the answer to that question. Could anyone truly answer that question? If, I don't understand that. They're how does he not know how much a box of Cheerio costs? I'm I don't know how much a box of Cheerio costs. Do you?
I don't think I do.
No, I'm what kind of dumb complaint is that? Do you think the average person knows how much a box of Cheerio costs unless you're truly living pennies at a time? If you told me a box of Cheerio costs $1 or $5, I'd believe both people.
Just split the difference. They cost $3.
But the point is though, I don't understand. What did you expect him to know? What the hell?
Also the guy's a multi-billionaire?
Right. I wouldn't expect him to know how much most things. I wouldn't expect let's be honest. If you anything under $10, once you make even 100,000 a year, you probably don't pay attention to what they cost.
Well, and I imagine people that are living comfortably, it doesn't even have to be $100,000.
Right.
If you make on your own,
Even 70 or 80, yeah.
Well, even 50, depending on where you live in the country.
Yeah.
You could easily spend $100 and just not even care.
Well, especially, and that's $100, which is that you can say. But again, if you're spending a couple bucks, you truly probably don't care.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know, somewhere in the low range, because it didn't affect me. So why would I, in theory, really pay attention to it?
Right. If you're gonna ask the former CEO of Starbucks what something costs, ask him like,
What does a Tesla cost?
no, I was gonna say ask him how much like 1,000 pounds of a certain coffee bean costs, because he would probably know that.
Right.
Or like, how much it costs to start a Starbucks. Like he would know that stuff. Like, don't ask somebody that's a billionaire what mundane things cost. Because they're not gonna know. Why would they? Like you said, why would they know?
Right. Because again, also I'm gonna argue the thing of, do most people know what that thing costs? I don't think so.
Yeah. Anyway.
There we go. I had to complain because I was like, that is such a dumb thing people are complaining about.
People are just, I don't know, in this day and age, especially with politics, it's like, I get the idea that anybody can do it. Obviously, we have
What are you implying?
We have probably the worst possible. Maybe not the worst possible, but in the top 5 worst possible people that we could have chosen to be president.
I'm telling you, in 2014, no one would believe you. That's the joke. I get what you're saying. I know me and you don't always 100% agree on that stuff. But yeah, no, I 100% get what you're saying.
Well, even, I mean, like, even in 2008, right, when Obama was elected, if you told me Donald Trump is going to be president in 8 years, I'll say, why? Like, the dude doesn't know anything.
Like, even like the guy who says you're fired?
Realistically, he's a terrible business person. Like, okay, his real estate's done all right, but that was a business inherited from his father. Everything he himself has ever done has failed. The airline, the university, you name it, it failed. Even the casino failed. What's it called now? The one in Atlantic City.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah. So like that guy, he can't even run a business, and you expect him to be, run a country. I will say though, when he said that he wanted to run the country like a business, I'm like, okay, if done right, which obviously it wasn't, it would work. But since it wasn't done right, we are where we are today, and we have, this weird thing of where Republicans have to figure out where they stand. Are they gonna back Trump, or do they,
But it's the issue you get to is, at the end of the day, it's the binary. Do you back Trump, or do you back whichever crazy person on the other side gets sent out? And at that point, you vote party line.
But the thing of it is, there's no crazy candidate yet.
No, that is not true.
There's no crazy candidate yet.
Can you look up an interview from like 2 days ago? I'll send you, and I want to hear your opinion.
There's no, okay, if you told me Trump was not a crazy candidate, then you're lying. Like, the dude's not.
No, I'm not saying he's not. But there totally is others of craziness on the other side that are already running.
Why did you just send me a Wikipedia link?
Oh, because that's who I'm referring to. I say both sides have their crazy.
I mean, the thing that it says that she stands for, I agree with. Medicare for all, that's really important.
I don't agree with you on the slightest. And again, I don't know if this is possible, but I don't agree with you.
Legalization of recreational marijuana. I agree with, because it's just stupid that it's not.
Oh yeah, again, we agree on a lot of stuff. I think we disagree on a lot of stuff.
Sanctuary cities. I mean, say what you will.
You know I will.
I'm not for them or against them. I don't think I have an opinion on them right now.
But anyway,
The Dream Act is important.
back to the fun part of our conversation.
Lowering taxes for the working and middle class. What, dude? Like,
I'll send you her actual interview.
while raising taxes on corporations and the wealthiest top 1%. Did you see the stat that the 27 wealthiest people own more money than 50% of the world?
Yeah, I've seen it. And I'm going to say that doesn't mean anything to me. Like, that doesn't.
I mean, even as somebody that, you know, I would consider myself to be fairly... If I was going to lean one way or the other, I'd probably lean right, but I'm fairly middling in my stuff. You know, wealthy people need to be taxed at a higher rate just because they have more.
See, and I don't agree with you because I don't think you have a right to their money just because they have it.
Well, if they're doing business in your country, you kind of have a right to that. Like, if you're telling me a country shouldn't tax a business that's operating on its soil.
No. I'm not saying you don't tax them nothing, but I'm saying the argument that you should tax it once they're worth more. I'm like, I don't know if I agree on that one.
Well, then how do you... Okay. You are a creator. I'm a creator.
Okay.
Look at countries that have creator programs like, I believe it's Sweden and like a lot of the Scandinavian countries.
Yeah, I know they do.
Where they have, you know, you can apply for basically a basic income that is supported by the wealthiest people.
And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that program.
All right. I mean, if you want to be a failing video game developer, go for it.
But here's the thing I'm going to argue then. It's not the government's job to make sure I don't fail.
But when you do fail...
Then that inherently some people will fail at the thing, yeah. And they'll go do something else.
All right.
I'm of the school
I guess you don't have a love for your thing that the people there do. Like, you create something that you love, and you're going to do that. If you fail, you're fucked because you don't know anything else.
So then, but here's the question: why is it the job of someone else to make sure I don't fail?
They're not making sure you don't fail. They're just helping you if you do fail.
Right. So why is it their job to protect me?
I mean, if you don't want to live there, then don't live there. If you don't live in the U.S., dude, with these people, then just fucking move.
But that's my argument, though. I don't understand how it's their job to make sure that that's what I'm getting. It's not their job to be like to protect me if I fail. If they want to, great, and that's you get like charities or whatever. But like, it's not someone else's job to make sure they do.
All right.
Anyway.
Mike wants to be a uber wealthy person and just keep all his money. Everyone, you heard it here first.
That's exactly what I want. You know enough to know that's true.
Mike doesn't give a shit about you.
Damn right.
Typical big city person, right?
Oh, right. That's totally how big city people work.
I mean, it is. It's legitimately how big city people think. They don't give a fuck about anyone except themselves.
So, AJ, have you seen or played anything good this last month?
I've been playing Yakuza 6.
Oof. So did you play the first 5?
I played 0 and 1.
So the first 6.
Well, 6 has like memories that you can. If you didn't play, you don't have to play 0 through 5. It catches you up.
Okay, that's interesting. So what do you think of it?
It's Yakuza. They've always been great.
So, but At a certain point, though, and correct me if I'm wrong, my complaint I've been hearing about it, and this is like secondhand, I didn't play them, is when you've played one Yakuza, you've basically played all the Yakuzas.
Well, there's different mechanics, but kind of, yeah.
And I'm not saying it's per se a bad thing. Like I would say Call of Duty is the same way, but I like Call of Duty. Like, but is that very much a true thing of like you kind of understand how this game works at a certain point? Then you're doing games or whatever, but like you go, I know what I'm getting, really well.
Um, yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because it's the same. Obviously, it's the same lead character.
Mhm.
Um, and a lot of the things work the same way.
Mhm.
But like Zero had its own combat style,
Mhm.
where there were 4 different styles that you could fight as,
Mhm.
and you had to upgrade each one individually. Kiwami, which is how I played 1, took that style. They remade 1 in the Zero engine, so it had all the fighting stuff from Zero in it.
Oh, interesting.
But 6 is 1 style. Well, kind of 2, but um, yeah, it feels the exact same.
Okay. And that's not per se a bad thing. I was just
Yeah,
nice. I've
the
been playing through.
story goes places, though. I'll tell you what.
Does it?
Yeah,
Good.
I think it has my. If I had played 6 in 2018,
Mhm.
it probably has my favorite moment from 2018.
Interesting. New Vegas in a lot of ways, obviously. I do find it interesting, like the scale of the sucker that they made. Like at a certain point, you're like you start out in a vault, and like the first prologue, the first like 2 hours is in this vault. It like the vault alone is like the size what I expect a mod to be, and that's the prologue of the mod.
Well, it's been they've been working on it for how long? So
Oh, I understand, but it's just interesting to me, like how much like is actually there. Like
I don't think it surprises me, knowing how
it's
long they've worked on it and the people that have worked, like the number of people that have helped work on it.
mhm.
I don't.
It maybe
It
you'd say
doesn't
this,
surprise me.
but there's some level of like it's more surprising that like mod like that's actually gets done. Because think how many stories you hear of mods like that not getting done.
Well, most of the time when you hear stories of like these, effectively reskins,
Mm-hmm.
then you know they just get shut down. They get a cease and desist. Like
Mm-hmm.
Liberty City, the
Right.
Liberty City remake got shut down,
Mm-hmm.
and everything was pointing to that being,
Mm-hmm.
possibly, if not, the greatest mod ever created in terms of just shit to do.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely up there. So
Yeah, I actually really like it a lot. It's a very interesting story, and I think it's had a few hiccups here or there of like voice actor quality or story quality, but I think as a whole, it's really good quality and consistent quality, which is the I think the impressive part is consistency, and I really like it. Otherwise, played through Hades some more. Oh, I got in the Dreams beta and the NDA stuff on that separate.
I've seen a lot of stuff coming out from that.
It's a surprisingly good tool. Like shockingly good. And like even just seeing like what did other people make with this thing? She was like stuff you could see other people.
Yeah,
It,
I'm
it's
still
really
holding out hope that it's
decent. Because it's the idea of what you can make is the part that gets me. Like there's so much.
okay. It's a tool, but is it like I'm holding out hope that there's actually a game that comes out of it, not just like
But here's the question
a
though.
game that's an engine. You know what I mean?
But like even stuff like in their beta, they have like stuff that their designers made on the spare time. Like if someone gets this game and then 6 months later, as long as enough people bought it, like you also do have games there. Maybe not in the sense of like a campaign, but you still have like endless amount of games.
Well, that's just like, Little Big Planet or Mod Nation Racers,
Right.
where if you got it later, you were fine because people made maps to get all the trophies, and so there was a ton of stuff to do. But if that community isn't there, what is there to do in Dreams?
But in my head, I think there's still going to be at least some level of community. Like even just from the beta amount of buzz, and I know it doesn't translate to 1-to-1, but like the amount of buzz the Dreams beta has been getting a decent amount shows me at least a decent amount of people I think are going to look at buying this game. Just because I feel like it's not been negative buzz, and that's the part that helps a lot is all the buzz has been positive.
It's been positive, but will it last? Or is this just going to be like, is it going to be super popular in like dev communities and that's it?
See, but I'd argue though, looking at like the Twitter storm or whatever, like it's been more than dev communities.
Yeah, but how long will that last? That's what I'm saying. Like, okay,
Yeah.
It's popular now, but how popular will it be?
I think it's some level of snowballs. They need that initial push to at least sustain it, and then at that point, it'll be fine. But you need to get that initial when it comes on sale.
Yeah.
And I think I almost argue it's hard to say. Like, I think that buzz is a more optimistic looking fact, but
Well, but 6 months after release, right? And people are figuring out, oh, this is a little harder to work than I thought.
mm-hmm.
So all of the casual people have fallen off.
Mm-hmm.
Who sticks around? It's just going to be, devs trying to make something or like artists. Good lord, my phone's loud.
I was gonna say, you get under attack there?
Yeah. Or, artists doing stuff with it.
So, and the thing that I feel is interesting, because like Little Big Planet, infamously like Little Big Planet 2, for example, which is still them, 3 was not them. They very much were clear of like, we just hired the best people in Little Big Planet 1, and they became our designers for that game. Like, it's very interesting, like the way they hire, from like because the tools they make. So I'm curious how much of it is like Sony is willing to lose money on this sucker as a good like tool to like find good designers or artists.
But the thing of it, okay, yeah, maybe. But the thing of it is, Little Big Planet still had stuff that Media Molecule had designed for casuals that didn't want to design their own levels and stuff like that.
I think they've been talking about there's something there for that too. I'm not saying I haven't heard like giant stuff. I've heard they have some level of here we have something for people.
That's going to be the thing.
Yeah, I bet you it comes out this year though. I'm hoping.
If it doesn't, it'll come out early 2020.
It feels like it's very polished what we saw, which makes me feel like the rest of the game probably is a good chunk content complete. If not, the rest is polished. Yeah. Doesn't feel like stuff's broken right now.
Also, did you realize Crackdown 3 comes out in like 2 weeks?
I forget it exists until everyone mentioned it. Until the word Crackdown 3 is said to me physically, I forget it's real. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I saw a tweet that said it's coming out in 2 weeks, and I was like,
do you know what else comes out in like 2 weeks I forget exists? Far Cry New Dawn.
Yeah.
But the point is though, like, yeah, there's some games I'm like, also Crackdown is more interesting to me. I'm like, them being radio silent, like, scares me of like what they think internally.
Yeah. I have a feeling that game is going to be $20 fairly quick.
But that's just the way we do games now. I feel like is you do the keep them at 60, and then 2 weeks later you drop the price to whatever.
Yeah, but you'll see like a sale for a quote unquote sale for $40 or whatever.
But
Like,
like,
very few games drop their retail price.
that's
It's
true.
just they list a sale.
But you just do continual sales.
Yeah.
I think there's some sort of law in some parts of the world though you can only do a sale like every so often or something without changing the price completely. There's weird
Yeah.
stuff.
They'll fight their way around that. Video game companies always do.
They do.
Look at EA, they finally said screw it with that Belgium case.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh, I
been
saw that.
18 months, I think, at least.
Mm-hmm. I was more surprised that they just changed it in one region though, and like now we have region differences in that game.
Um, they only did that because they were the only country that came after them.
That's true. But it's interesting because now, does that mean that country, statistically speaking, has a better advantage? Because now the game's no longer pay to play?
No.
No?
That game is fucked in Belgium.
So it actually gives them a disadvantage.
Oh, definitely. Because now they have to earn.
Oh, like you just can't buy is what it is. They didn't get rid of the system.
Yeah,
They just
no.
minus the
Yeah.
money part of the system.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's no way EA is going to create a Belgium specific version of that game.
But no, I agree. But that's interesting to me how much that.
Also, I think the only reason that it was changed in Belgium is they have some super strict gambling laws.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what got them was they called it gambling.
Yeah. That while Belgium, as far as I know, is one of the only countries that has digital gambling laws.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they were going after them under.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was ever a like a end to the case.
Mm-hmm.
I think EA just dropped the thing and just said fine.
Probably it's a small enough region where they couldn't care.
Yeah.
If it was a bigger region, they'd probably do a bigger fight. Like if it was Japan or UK, they'd be like, "Well, we gotta do this fight now." In Belgium, what are we talking in Belgium? Thousands of customers at the end of the day.
Probably 100,000.
But at the end of the day, though, it's still not. With the numbers that game does, you're not talking pennies.
No. But you have to remember, right, like, the only games people in Europe buy
Or sports games.
are FIFA. Like, FIFA and, like, some of them will get NBA, 2K, and then they'll get, like, a simulator, and that's it.
That is interesting how much that changes on a per market basis.
Not really. Not when you think of the cultures that exist in those markets.
Yeah.
And plus, there's like, there's other sports games, right, that we don't get in the States that they get.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, it's not like all they get is FIFA, NBA, and a simulator. They get,
Mm-hmm.
there's cricket games. There's other basketball games. There's a FIBA game, which is the European basketball.
Mm-hmm.
That we don't get in the States because there's no reason for it. It would sell probably like 15 copies.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so that's done. They're still in a thing in the States. EA is. I'm trying to think of who else is currently undergoing. Well, we may see EA under a lawsuit again here with Anthem, it looks like.
Well, why? It being a buggy game, you can't sue someone over.
No, I think it's going to be for failure to deliver.
Then why is Bethesda not sued? Like, that's not, I don't think fail delivers a thing you could sue over.
I mean, it's been done before. I'm not saying they will.
But like that in my head, then Destiny failed to deliver. Like, if you argue, if we're arguing,
Don't think it did, though.
its original product in comparison to what they promised it did. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I think the original product's not an amazing game. I think it's a good game, but I think it'd fall into that fail to deliver category in the same sense.
But the thing is, you could still play Destiny. I think if they were going to go after Anthem for failure to deliver, it's because you can't, like, you start the game and then nothing happens. You get stuck in a loading screen.
It's hard to say because that's a beta. Like, a lot of betas are sketchy.
But, I mean, that game comes out in 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, but it's been, like, how many, for example, I'm giving a perfect example here. How many stories have we heard on Call of Duty opening weekend you cannot play the game? A lot. How many times have they gotten sued? None.
But the thing, well, I don't know about Black Ops 4. Apparently that actually did alright.
Fine.
But
like the older Call of Duties for sure. I remember having trouble in like Modern Warfare days or early Black Ops days.
The thing of it is, they had something that they could do.
So then here's my question then to you. I understand where you're going then.
They had the single player that you could play. As far as I know, Anthem is online only.
So question then, can they be sued if they go on for maintenance? Because why is not every game sued then is my question.
Yeah, well, they would have to declare that they're under maintenance, I think.
Do you know what I'm saying though? Like how many games go on maintenance can be a lot.
But I mean, yeah, there haven't been enough of these exclusively online games yet that haven't worked.
But like Division, I've definitely heard. I thought like opening weekend had shit.
But you could play Division offline.
No, I think you have to connect to the server.
No, I've played it offline on my PC.
Have you?
Yeah.
I thought you could connect to the server at least at some point.
No, opening weekend, I played it offline. I played like almost all the story offline. It's just for the... You can't do the one mode. The, what is it, Dark Zone or whatever?
Yeah.
You can't do that.
But what about something like Destiny? I don't know if Destiny, off the top of my head, was atrocious. I feel like it's been, but like, yeah.
But Destiny still worked. Like, you could get in and play Destiny.
Before we know, when we get to open a weekend, we'll have the same thing. Where you can go in and play. Some stuff might be busted, we could play.
Yeah. Well, can you get in, I guess is the question. Will be the question.
But I think also, I feel like the beta also scales their service. Like, they have a better understanding of what their server capacity needs to be.
Hopefully.
The numbers I was hearing filmed is like, it was like double what they expected. And like, from someone who at least touched server stuff, like that's a giant increment. I'm talking about like a 10% increase, like when you double something. So it is, you have a server capacity, and then you add like a buffer zone on top of it, or you break.
But the thing of it is, how did you this beta wasn't an open beta.
Right, but you still project, you don't assume everyone's going to play it at once. You really don't.
But you have, I think it was pre-orders, right? Is that how you got on it?
I thought the first, and then this upcoming weekend is the open beta. I thought, yeah, this last one was pre-order.
Because even like the Origin edition on PC,
yeah,
I couldn't get into the beta, which I thought was weird. But I mean, you had those pre-order numbers, so you look at those, and even if you plan for that plus 10%, you should have been fine. Yeah,
and to be fair, I don't know like what their usual statistics. I'm assuming you don't do 100%. You go like, we assume 60% at one time. Like you do those kind of based on prior. We're talking about EA. We're talking about a company that has some level of like, we've done this before. We know percentage-wise what percentage of people touch a beta at one point, for example. Because you could assume 10-20% will just never touch it easily.
So then you plan for 70%.
Right.
Tack on the 10% buffer, so 80%.
And
then there you go. You should be fine.
But you also assume from a server capacity is... Now, here's the question. Remind me if I'm right or wrong. Did Anthem do the dumb thing of here's your 3-hour window to play, or is it just like here's your weekend to play?
I believe it was just here's the weekend.
Right. And that's what gets weird to them, I bet you too, is we assume at one stretch only X of this X will be playing, and I think that's what broke them. Because if you assume like your game's selling 1 million copies, you're only gonna get 400,000 at one time. Like you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you don't assume
but
all million people are gonna be on that server.
But the thing of it is, the thing of it is, like, this was the first time anybody's effectively played Anthem.
which is gonna be weird, but I'm gonna argue that to me gives it a better case of this could be successful.
I don't think Anthem will be a success.
I think it'll be more. I think it's a better barometer than we were all expecting.
I think, okay, so day one sales will be great.
That's what I mean, more so. I think
Week 3 sales will be terrible.
I think it comes down to is see, but they might put a poll to Ubisoft of like Ubisoft no longer cares about their initial sales, they care about their tail.
Yeah, which Ubisoft's very unique in that.
But Ubisoft took years to get to that point. Also, it wasn't overnight that happened.
Well, it was also Rainbow Six Siege that kind of showed them that
It was possible.
yeah, oh hey, maybe we should pay attention to this community. Because like when Siege launched,
yeah,
nobody played it. It wasn't that great. And then just that community stuck with it. And then they went back to it. So
that is for sure an interesting conundrum they have. Let me see. What other things? Anything other fun stuff that you messed with?
Not really. I've been playing Battlefield 5.
Ooh, I know the other thing I want to talk about. So I've officially watched both Fire documentaries since we last talked.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Netflix one?
Not yet.
I think it's better.
I heard the Netflix one is like trying to clean the fuck Jerry team.
Because they made it up. It's but I think it's better in the sense of like higher quality and like the way it tells us. Like, so here's an example. The Hulu one, I think, the Netflix one obviously has the fuck Jerry bias, but I think the Hulu one has the anti-bias to the point of like basic facts. They're just like, no, that's not true. Like the example being like the Hulu one, they just say like they never had an island. Well, the fuck Jerry's the kind of guys are kind of like, no, he did. Then he fucked up and lost the island. Like it's that type of little stuff of like. I feel like the Hulu one is just going like, it is the joke of like how you want to see the rich white millennials like.
Well, no, the Hulu one condenses a lot of the facts.
Maybe that's part of it. I think they condense and I think they lose facts in the condense.
So like, yes, he did have an island, but then he lost it. So that's why they said he didn't have an island.
Right, but like stuff like that matters. Like that's to me, I think where I almost think the storytelling and the fuck Jerry one's better.
I honestly, that detail though of him having an island set up and then losing it doesn't change anything.
It doesn't, and it does in the sense of like I think there's other times they do similar stuff. I think that's just the best example to point to of like how they condense that stuff.
I will say though, the fact that the Hulu guys actually went out and got like, yeah, we're gonna interview
the old fuck Jerry guy.
Well, the guy that did, this was his baby. The guy that was kind of the liaison to the Bahamas. The guy that, a couple of the guys that were backing it, like potentially backing it.
I did like, and they showed, so like in the Netflix ones, in the Hulu one, there's the Fire Fraud Twitter account guy.
Yeah, that guy's funny.
In the Netflix one, he's there for like a minute. To put example, like it's a different type of story.
Well, and that was the weird part, that when they start covering like the fuck Jerry response to the fire fraud thing.
Yeah.
Like I kind of get why the Netflix one wouldn't have him in there.
They wouldn't have him, but they talk about doing that, and that's what's interesting to me.
Yeah.
So they totally be like, no, we did it. Like they're like, no, we. So the fuck Jerry one's also at some point they're like, at a certain point, well, they're like, we stopped doing it and just handed him the login and said we're done.
Yeah. Which they don't cover in the Hulu one, and
which obviously I think that's more inside knowledge also.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I expected Hulu guys to know that fact.
Well, and I wonder even if the guy that ran the campaign, he may have known, but it probably wasn't his choice to make. So that was probably, the guys that run Jerry Media. It was their idea to just clean their hands of it, give it to Billy, and just say, all right. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. It's just there are moments where I'm like, I think both are good, and I think the story is just batshit. I think they're just moments where I'm like, both of them have like their like bias in their own way.
Yeah. I will say though, and obviously I haven't seen it, but from what I've heard, the Netflix one is very much like from the Jerry perspective of,
Oh,
you
it
know,
is.
hey guys,
More sense to that team.
We didn't know what was going on and we didn't know how bad the situation was.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, the guy in the Hulu one that was from the Jerry team said, like, we didn't really know. Like, Billy was keeping everyone in the dark about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's a very interesting conversation and situation that happened. And really, I think it's the first, at least for me, the first one I can think of, the first time that social media was used for a fraud.
That's interesting. I don't know if it's the first one. I think it's the first one of that scale.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely of the scale. So obviously anything that happened before was on a smaller scale, but like his whole thing was that we're gonna sell this because of social media, not anything else. Like it was built specifically to sell tickets through social media, and that was basically it. Like he wasn't going out to find, like, if he wanted to build a true music festival, he wouldn't have gone after good music and the groups that he did.
I didn't even know who half those groups. I'll be honest with you, like good music's playing, and I'm like, ooh.
Well, I had never heard of good music as being Kanye. So I don't even know who's in good music. Let's see. Getting Out Our Dreams. Oh, it's Kanye's record label. Yeah, I'd never heard of it before. Pusha T, Big Sean, 2 Chainz. Let's see. Okay. Current artists. Kanye, obviously. Big Sean, Pusha T, Shy the Prince, never heard of him. Tiana Taylor, Q-Tip, Casey Hill, HXLT, Designer, 070 Shake, Francis and the Lights, Valley, Kid See Ghosts, and Sheck West. Which obviously Kid See Ghosts and Sheck West wouldn't have done Fire, but former artists, Really Doe, GLC, Tony Williams, Common, Consequence, John Legend, Sarah, Malik Yusef, Mr. Hudson, Mustaf, D'Banj, Kid Cudi, Ryan McDermott. So I mean, yeah, I guess when you throw that name, well, it was all because of Kylie, right?
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day it was Kylie that was like.
Also, the fact that it only cost $250,000 to get her to tweet out or do the Instagram post of Firefest.
He's like, that might be cheap, actually.
Yeah. The one person in the Hulu one, like, how much? 250,000 for how many? One? That was it.
And you're like, that's it as in one. The other person's like, that's it as in price, which I think was a funny disconnect. Both of them are like, only one.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely that idea of, at least the first time I can remember, of social media being used as, like, the people behind the scenes organizing this effectively Ponzi scheme. They are using influencers that have no idea what's going on.
It was, I don't know if the Hulu one didn't cover this. In the Netflix one, they covered it. They sued the influencers.
Who did?
The class action lawsuit. Like the
Oh
influencers
yeah, I
behind
saw
that
something. I saw something recently that they were getting subpoenaed.
which to me, I'm like, I feel like it's not their fault. Well, all they were told, all they asked to do was post a link. So what they did, so what they were asked to do, right? For X money, we'll say 250 because that was like highly amount. Post a link with a picture and just say find out more. At what point is that fraud?
Yeah, for them, I mean,
I'm not saying the internal side. I'm talking about the influencer side.
right?
They
Yeah,
didn't promise you anything. They just said here's a link to check out.
yeah. So I have to imagine that suit will be dropped pretty quick.
Because to me, it's not like I don't expect them to. At what percentage do you expect them to understand the internals of a company? Is the question at hand.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I do.
And I mean, I think the problem is you and I don't necessarily know how that, like, the social media stuff in that situation works,
Right.
because our followings are extremely small,
no,
so
but
we don't know
I
how
think,
they do that stuff.
well, I think I've looked into enough to have a rough-ish understanding of like how much do you know in comparison type thing. In my
Yeah.
understanding, like something with Kylie Jenner, it's basically gives the money, and some level her team looks at the campaign and goes, "It's something I want to put my name behind." That's the extent of what they care. Like basically, does it mess? She has a certain image. Does it mess with her image? Yes or no? And at the time, it doesn't mess with her image. So obviously, why would it do it?
I'm really curious if Kylie even saw
Right. 'Cause I don't think she
any of
runs
the
her.
stuff.
I don't think she runs her own social media.
No, I guarantee you
I
there's a
assume she
team.
has approval. Like she could deny it, but like at the end of the day, I
Yeah.
don't think she runs it on a post by post basis.
And I mean, if you think about it, right, like her team, we'll assume there's a team that runs it. They were like, oh yeah, this matches up her image perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably didn't even ask.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they did, they were like, hey, do you want to,
Does this look okay to you?
yeah, do you want to advertise that you're going to go to this? It'll be an all expenses paid thing.
Yeah, because I don't know if they touch. I remember enough. I don't think Hulu when they talked about it too, where they're like, no, the influencers who posted part of their deal was they got to go to this thing free.
Yeah. I will say the two people that they interviewed in the Hulu one, the two influencers,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, when they were interviewing them, I'm like, you guys are total narcissists. Like, you know, they're like, what does it mean to be your brand?
Yeah, that
Like,
was. I don't like that one guy, the balding guy too. I'm like,
the guy that did the fake
yeah,
Twitter name, I thought his was hilarious. But like the two young kids
yeah.
that they're like, what's your brand? And they're like, oh, I just want to, like, you know, showcase positivity. And like they both said that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, what other bullshit, you know, their media training had told them to say. Like, it's obvious that they were only in it to be like, hey, look at, you know, I'm going to score 1 million views because I'm at Firefest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's almost like, what was the event with the infamous ball pit?
Mm.
Was that TwitchCon?
Yeah.
You know, it sounded like Firefest was half influencer fest,
Mm-hmm.
half we're gonna scam, you know, millennials that have rich parents out of $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like, it just amazed me, you know, how anybody thought that would be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, even new music festivals that happen,
Take years.
yeah, like when Electric Forest, the EDM fest, redid its image
Mm-hmm.
to become the EDM fest, because it used to just be like a blues fest.
Oh, trust me, I know of Electric Forest. I feel like a lot of my friends go to it.
As somebody that lives less than an hour from where they have Electric Forest, I have heard of that festival forever.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be the Rothbury Blues Fest.
Hmm.
They kept the Rothbury Blues Fest, but they slowly added, like, oh, this stage will have a DJ. Like, they slowly added that stuff. So obviously they had a festival kind of to build off of,
Mm-hmm.
but they did it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Like they built their EDM fest on top of this, and they still have some of that blues stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's Electric Forest. I think if they would have wanted to do, like, if they wanted Fire Festival to work, I honestly think it could have worked.
If you had 18 months, I might agree with you.
No, if you had 2 years to do it, I think it would have worked.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would have given you enough time to, okay, we need to go out, we need to talk to VC funds and, other investors. Like, can we get with, Sony Music? Can we get with Universal Music? Like, the labels. Because really, a lot of festivals are funded by labels.
Mm-hmm.
Short of, like, Coachella really isn't. Lollapalooza isn't anymore. Like, the festivals that are obviously super popular,
Mm-hmm.
they don't have the label funding anymore. Even, like, Vans Warped Tour gets funded by some of the labels.
That is true.
Because basically, Warped Tour is a PR campaign for, if you think about it, however many bands they put on the list. Right. That's the PR campaign for those bands for however long Warped, the cycle of Warped Tour.
Which is like a 4-month cycle, so it's a good chunk. It's a good amount of work for those bands at the end of the day, too.
Well, but even, the cycle's longer than that because it's the, it's the announcement of the car. It's the, it's the build up to the show and the tour. So, like, they could have easily done it with, I think, on a smaller scale. And if they didn't shoot for the moon right away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they built it up and they did the small little, cabanas and stuff like that they were planning on doing. Well, I don't know if they were actually planning on it, but
yeah, I was gonna say
the idea was
they built it.
Well, Billy was planning on doing. If they actually did that and did it on a slower scale, then it would have worked.
Mm-hmm.
But since Billy was like, I want to do this and I want to do it now,
mm-hmm.
which is honestly a very millennial thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to do this and I want to do it now. With no regard to the behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, you look at a lot of these things, right, that, excuse me, that have this millennial backing. They want to do something, they want to do it now, and they don't care how it gets done.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. And obviously it failed for him, and it failed spectacularly, and it was probably, from start to finish, the greatest debacle I've ever witnessed.
Oh, it is amazing. Like, the scale in which you go, is that like you fail? How do you fail at that size? How is everything wrong? Like, then I'm like, oh, a lot of stuff's wrong. Literally nothing worked as planned.
Well, and not only nothing worked, but he was planning excuse me, he was planning stuff like the week before it was supposed to happen.
My favorite is the pirate ship. That's still my favorite thing in the world.
Billy wants a pirate ship. How the fuck are we gonna get a pirate ship?
Right?
Actually, what would have worked is if Billy McFarland went outside of the US and found some, like, kid of a sultan in the Middle East that had $1 gajillion to their name.
And was like, he did. He found Ja Rule. What are you talking about?
Ja Rule probably has $50 to his name, and
this is gonna be
all the fake jewelry.
Do you know who? Every time I see Ja Rule, I just think of in my head, and I know they're not alike at all. Cisco. In my head, they're like the same person. I'm like, I know they're not the same. Why do I
That's
keep
funny.
looking at them as the same?
Yeah.
I just find it hilarious that I'm just like, yeah. So I know we've been talking this a while. I vote we take a quick 2-minute break, and then when we come back, we can talk about a few more things, and we'll talk about the movie club for next month.
Well, it won't be. It'll be part 2 of the movie club. Because part 1 was Star Trek.
That's fine. Break 2. But when I get back, we'll talk about it, and we'll be right back.
Alright, everyone, we're back from a break. I don't know what Mike had to do. Normally on our breaks, Mike says we'll take a break and then sprints downstairs to run to the bathroom.
I also slaughter an infant. Did you not know that?
Did I not know what?
I slaughter an infant during every break. Part of the tradition.
Good for you.
What? Someone has to do it.
I mean, most of my sacrifices aren't interns; they're C-level people.
What if I love an infant to you as an intern level person? That to me is the ironic part of that sentence. You're like, who's an intern? I'm like, what place have you worked where they hire babies as an intern? Could you explain that one to me?
I mean, my place of business.
Your place? That is terrifying.
I mean, it's not child labor law issues if they're infants, right?
And technically it is, because it's under a certain age. It's not at a certain age. How the law works.
We'll just classify them as actors and we'll be fine.
They still have to use stuff to like pay for their schooling.
Not until they get to be a certain age.
Yeah. Fucking. They only work so much though.
That's fine.
I can have 5 hours. It's fine.
I live in West Michigan. There's like 7 babies born every 5 seconds. There's a bunch of Catholic families. There's no joke. I can think of 5 families in my neighborhood that have at least 6 kids.
God almighty.
Yeah. So yeah.
You're an insane person.
Also, not gonna lie, the way that the filter is for me through Discord, when you said infant, I thought you said intern. That's why I said that.
I'm like, and you're just like, oh, I hire C-level. I'm like, what?
Because the way, I don't know if it's the, I'm pretty sure it's the filter through Discord that I have set up for your noise gate.
Oh, maybe.
Like, sometimes it'll chop what you're saying. So it's just weird like that. But, yeah. I think that's the built-in Discord one. It's not one that I have set up. It's just if you have that option to the voice activity, and then I believe it's the automatically determine. If you don't have that set, I guess it would be low enough.
Okay.
It chops you sometimes, so.
Interesting.
It's only an issue a few times.
It's good to know. Not gonna lie.
There you go.
I know we're running on the longer side, AJ. Is there anything other story-wise that you wanted to talk about?
I don't think so. I don't think I had anything saved.
Have we mentioned I know we talked a little bit, but like how Epic Store is now picking up Metro Exodus, is that the one?
Also, I've seen in response to that people boycotting Epic.
Did you see a freaking THQ Nordic go Deep Silver under the bus?
What'd they say? I haven't seen the.
They're like, well, it was a decision on the lower end. We had nothing to do with the decision. We personally aren't a big fan of putting up software on exclusive platforms, but it's their division. I was like, oh my god.
Sounds like a very THQ Nordic thing.
But it's funny, I'm like, they just threw a subordinate division that they could have told not to do something.
Could they have?
Yeah, They own them outright. You could be like, no. That's how that works.
Well, did they buy Deep Silver proper, or did they just buy the library?
No, they bought them proper. Like Deep Silver is a now subsidiary of THQ Nordic. That was the big thing, is they bought out Deep Silver.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember how that deal went, because they were buying like libraries but not the company, and then they bought the THQ name.
Right. I remember it was weird stuff, but at the end of the day, they straight out bought Deep Silver. Which the joke was that was the first time they had people to make games.
Also, why would have Deep Silver wasn't the developer, were they?
No, but they're publishing it. Metro, they're publishing. So they
even though THQ bought them, so THQ would be publishing them.
No, that's like how Rockstar publishes a game, not Take-Two. Same idea. Or Activision publishes a game, not Activision Blizzard. It's all this. It's the same idea of a subsidiary with that.
Oh no, that's the Deep Silver Koch Media. That's why.
Okay. But
so they bought Deep Silver, but then Koch Media came in and partnered with Deep Silver.
Other Koch Media was part of Deep Silver. Other Koch Media was the Deep Silver parent company, and they bought Koch Media.
Maybe they came in. THQ Nordic bought Koch Media,
and Koch Media owns Deep Silver.
Yeah.
That's still a subsidiary.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember how all that.
All
that stuff went down, because it was.
But they still own them. Yes, there's more layers between them, but they could still. If the parent company could be like, no, we're your boss. No, like at the end of the day.
It's just weird that THQ Nordic is taking the. Like in the Rockstar situation, their parent company is Take-Two.
Mm-hmm.
But Take-Two themselves don't publish games.
It's like Activision Blizzard themselves doesn't publish games.
It's either Activision or Blizzard.
But those are subsidiaries of Activision Blizzard. That's the same idea, though. It's like 2K and Rockstar are subsidiaries of Take-Two.
Are you sure it isn't technically Activision Blizzard that puts out WoW?
I'm positive it's Blizzard. That's how that works. It's weird. Activision Blizzard is just the parent company that is just the post-merger company that controls it.
All these mergers are just weird.
But no, it's weird, which is not the same as Disney buying Fox. That's just all Disney now.
Yeah.
That's what gets weird when you start getting weird stuff like that, where it's different.
Publisher and distributor Koch Media.
See, no, you know what the weirdest part of the Activision Blizzard story is?
Oh, okay. I see what's going on. I see what's going on.
Huh.
THQ Nordic, which is the Swedish parent company, have 3 subgroups. They have Koch Media.
Okay.
They have the publisher THQ Nordic.
Of course they do.
And the publisher Coffee Stain.
Which is the owners of
Goat Simulator.
Okay. Oh, they did buy them, I forgot.
So that makes
some sense?
It even more confusing.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Also, apparently the price cut isn't effective everywhere.
But you know what's insane? So I don't know if you saw this. So some people did math with the price cut. With the 12% Epic makes, so assuming they've done no back-end deal for a second, with the game at $50, the publisher still makes more money by like $1 because how much lower percentage they take.
Also, have you seen the thing that Steam will give out Steam keys to devs for free so they can sell it on their own store?
I've seen that because Steam's now like, fuck. Because now that you realize you could sell your game cheap on a different platform.
Steam has done that for a while, though. It's not a recent thing.
But it's more the idea of, now I could sell a $60 game at $50, undercut my competitors, and make more money is when this idea becomes dangerous.
Or you contact Steam, Steam gives you a
But Steam
million
wants
keys
something.
and you sell them
Steam
on
is-
your site.
But Steam wants money for that.
No, they don't.
Then what's the point of Steam? Like, how does Steam make money? Everyone
Steam
does
is
that.
purely like a curation service now.
But Steam at the end of the day wants to make money, so they some way will care if you ask for too many keys.
If you, yeah, I think it's maybe there's a limit, but
That's what I mean. There has to be a hard cap on this because you see the danger otherwise.
yeah,
I will never sell anything through Steam. Just get 1,000. How many Steam codes I need? Put on my itch site. I'm good to go. I get 98%. Give itch 2%. I'm good to go. Like you see the issue.
yeah, I forget what the number is, but they'll give you.
They'll give you a good chunk.
I think it has to be also available on Steam.
I've also heard numbers where it can only be a certain percentage of your Steam-based sales is where that number comes from. So if we say it's 10%, if you sell 1 million on Steam, then you're allowed to sell 100,000 off Steam. Like I've heard, like it's something tied to that.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. In either way, they'll give you Steam keys that then you can sell at 100% on your site.
But the danger is Epic's is just the like, well, and this is what gets interesting because everyone's like I think Metro Exodus looks really interesting, but now the game that like people are like it looks like a iffy $60 game for sure. It looks like a fine $50 game. They made more money.
It still looks like an iffy $50 game.
I don't think so. Like I think it looks really cool, and like the first 2 Metro games are really cool games.
The thing of it is, they look cool.
Mm-hmm.
They've never played great.
This one I think is looking to be a more of a promising game, though, personally.
Yeah. Here's the thread. The Epic Games Store is awful anti-consumer. Here's why we should boycott it.
I've seen those threads. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing. Everyone's been doing this forever. You act like it's a new practice.
Well, but the terrible security. Like, this is something I've seen even before they started selling games.
Mm-hmm.
People just, like, if you had a even semi-popular tag on Epic, people just, effectively two-factor and locking you out. Because all they have to do is they go in and they go, dot, 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 just fuck around with the password and break it that way. Epic's regional pricing is based on the US price.
Which is that's funny as fuck.
It's not based on what it would be locally.
Mm.
So in fact, there's games that are like 4 times more expensive on the Epic Store
because of how
than they were on Steam. Like there was somebody that said Metro cost them $20, but now it costs them $50.
That's some. So I'm not saying it's a perfect story. Don't get me wrong on that, and I agree those are issues.
Also, apparently, there's no offline. Like when their free games they've launched.
But the catch with your stuff is there's nothing's DRM. So if you have the
like Subnautica. Mm-hmm. Subnautica they patched, so you have to run the Epic launcher.
Really?
You can't go to the executable and just run the executable.
Because that was their whole thing. Is none of this like Hades I can run offline.
Right, but like Subnautica is tied now to.
Sorry, that's the catch of being a free game is
the Epic launcher.
That might be one of their catches.
Also, it doesn't have controller support.
That is not true.
The Epic Game Store?
The store. I'm talking about the games. I'm like staring at you. But does anyone? Okay, I'm gonna counterpoint that one in a second. Does anyone use Steam's controller support?
Yeah, I play all the games I have on Steam, like that aren't FPSs. I play with a controller.
But you could play games on Epic with the controller. You just can't manage the score with one.
Well, so I have to do that when I do big picture.
See, but
and that's it.
I know. I don't know if big picture matters. I'm gonna be honest with you, but okay.
Well, it's gonna matter more now that it's being implemented into TVs.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that's where Steam will never die if big picture is in TVs.
I don't think Steam is ever going to die, but I just think having more competition, and this is good competition, is good.
Well, think about it this way, right? Joe Schmo is that has a decent computer, is like, okay, it's on the Epic Store for $10 less, or if I buy it on Steam, I can play it on my computer and on my TV.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the Epic, I can only play it on my computer.
And I'm gonna argue, what is this market we're talking now?
I think a fairly decently sized market of people that play.
Think it is.
I think it's bigger than you think. Honestly, it's like people that want the opportunity to play a game on their big TV is way bigger than you think. Because, I mean, you hear of people all the time of like, they connect their computer to their TV.
Mm-hmm.
So that then they can play it on their TV. So then, why wouldn't you just, Bluetooth your controller to your TV, and then your TV is connected to your PC through Steam Link, and then you don't have to buy a 100-foot HDMI cable.
Mm-hmm.
You just have your TV.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's, I think that's way bigger than you think.
Interesting.
Apparently, the Epic Game Store broke EU laws. I haven't heard anything about that, but
I haven't heard. I've heard it before. I didn't hear anything recent.
So,
nice.
No Linux support. That's getting to be a bigger deal.
It's getting, but like I think we'll both agree in the current setting right now.
Yeah.
I don't know how much that matters. I think in the long term we could have that argument, but I think in this moment, this second, I don't think that matters. Like, look at how many games on Steam actually have limits. Or like, we're not talking.
Yeah. I didn't realize this. They'll refuse refunds even if you meet the criteria. Like, I'll say that's one good thing about, like,
Steam, which I still don't know how I feel about that. I'm gonna be honest with you, that the whole refund idea of a game is,
the Steam refund policy and the Origin one's a whole lot better.
I just think refund policy for games are weird. Like, I understand if there's a broken sense of the game, I'm not against that one.
Well,
the issue is the games like Gone Home that play for 2 hours and there's a 2-hour window. Like, I feel like that I don't like this.
Yeah, there's definitely a shitty aspect there of people abusing the system.
And I know it's a small percentage, but I'm saying I think we need to have a more flexible system. Like, maybe it's X% of the average game completion time, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, if the game's 100 hours, I understand the 2-hour window, but I don't understand it's a 3-hour game.
But then, if that's the case, if you want to do a percentage, then there's a much larger window for those 100-hour games.
And that's fine. Then that's something. There's a give and take.
Yeah. But, like, the way that they handle... First off, since it's a digital game, like, you can't just return it to the store the way you could with a disc.
Right.
So it's definitely an idea of that. Like, and that happened all the time back in the, when people had NES games and the games, you could beat them in a day.
Which is why they changed their policy. That's the story of, like, NES games, the reasons they changed refund policies in a lot of stores.
I mean, there's also, like, most of those stores have gone back on them or never really implemented that idea. Like, now all you need in most places is a receipt and the thing.
But it needs to be unopened, and that's your catch.
Well, it only has to be, if it's unopened, you can do whatever you want.
You can't go to Walmart and return an open game. They'll be like, you're trading in the game. That's not this. Like, that is the fundamental difference. It cannot be.
Maybe Walmart's that way, but like Target, I can.
No, you can't. I guarantee you can't.
No, I definitely didn't. I recently did it.
Wait, no, opened game. Define open.
Yeah. I took the plastic off the game. Like, and open, like, that's what they consider open. Like, the shrink wrap was off the game. And I think it was like a day or two after I bought it.
Maybe there's that.
So there's definitely a window.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's exactly what they're doing with the Steam refunds. There's a window that they're like, okay. And it's pretty much no questions asked. and then, they will refund you if you're past the window, which is nice. Like I've had it happen to me as well. Of like, I get like 4 hours into the game and it just refuses to launch, or it'll launch and just immediately crash.
Which again, that's why to me, I think a technical refund in that sense makes. I have zero issue against that one. I have an issue against the I don't like this thing. Like think about.
But how many people? How many people are like just refunding a game because?
Okay, but then why do we have the policy if it doesn't affect people?
I think the policy is important because there's people that like. If you hop into a game and you're like, oh, this is clearly not what I thought it was going to be, then it's smart to have that policy. It's a good customer-facing policy.
I just think it's too open to let abuse happen. The current state at which it's in.
Dude, abuse is going to happen no matter what. There's no way you can stop that.
Okay, then we could still minimize it, or at least do policy that like helps to control it. We're not doing any of that. We're just saying, well, it's going to happen, and we're stopping there.
Think about piracy.
Okay.
When, like, Spotify and Pandora and all that stuff launched, music piracy took a dump because it was just easier. It was easier to access stuff on Spotify and Pandora. So then the piracy drops because it's just easier to you just listen to it.
Right.
Or you pay your same thing with Netflix. You pay your $10 a month and you watch it there instead of pirating the show and seeing, lost sales there. Same thing with this refund policy where people are going to try out the game. So people are buying games that they wouldn't have bought before, knowing that there's a policy that if they start playing it and they're like, I'm way in over my head, I can just refund this. Or, they buy a game that they wouldn't have bought before, and then they keep playing it. So, I guess if you don't have the refund policy, fewer games are going to get discovered, but with the refund policy, more stuff is getting discovered.
And again, I don't want to say like I'm against the idea of the refund policy or it as a whole. I just think it needs refinement or improvement. Like little stuff like I talked about, like the whole like the 2-hour window for the game. And I know I keep pointing to that, but like we both know there are prime games that are really good that are this short experience. That all of a sudden you open this window up and you can be like, well, who uses it? Great. Then put in the little thing that says, if the game is X long, your window is now 30 minutes instead, and just it would alleviate the problem.
Yeah. Also, the people that would do that, like just refund a 2-hour game, Steam will refuse those. Like people that are chronically doing that.
And I know they'll refuse a chronic one, but I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, though, like, why can't we have that in the system to begin with?
I guess it also depends on the cost of the game. But right, if it's a 2-hour game and it costs me $5, I'm not gonna refund $5. Even if it was probably $10, I wouldn't think about it. But if it's a 2-hour game and it costs me $25, I might consider it.
But here's the line, though. But again, also part of it is, are you falsely advertising what you're getting? Like if I go to you and say, this is a $25 game, and I'm very clearly saying, this is about a 2-hour experience, and you buy it blindly without realizing it, it's not my fault you didn't look into it.
No, I also don't think the people that are, refunding are like, this was only 2 hours, or this was only an hour and a half, and it cost me $25. I think there's very few
people,
of those.
But I agree with you, they're not the prime. Yeah. We both know those people exist, but I think we both are like, those aren't the prime.
Yeah, so I think that the people that you're thinking of exist in very small numbers to the point where it just doesn't matter. Like on the grand scale of things, the people that you're thinking of that are abusing the system, first off, they get shut down. The people that are it's just too expensive for what it was. Like,
Yeah, I hate those people.
are an extremely small population, so it really doesn't matter.
Would feel better if we had. I know this affects very few, but I feel like we had some level of like, let's put these things in place to at least count for these edge cases a little bit better. And I think the system then would be a stronger system to point to. Because right now it feels more a slap together, like, well, this is a solution to the problem, majority of it at least. And I think there are enough people where this edge cases either affect substantially or at least cause concern, which they shouldn't have to cause, which is our problem.
I don't think it's causing the concern you think it is. I honestly think the way you're thinking about it, of like, you're thinking, what about this small stuff? Like, it's probably not affecting them the way that you think it is. Like, I don't think Gone Home was as affected as you think it is.
Well, Gone Home also wasn't in this window. Gone Home was out way before this window. But yeah.
But you used it as an example.
Because it's the perfect example, because I'm trying to think what's a 2-hour game that we both know the name of on the top of our head. Like, that's why I keep pointing to it.
Well, think of... I did a 2-part video for that Dragon Cancer. It's an hour and a half. You literally cannot make it any longer or any shorter. It's an hour and a half.
Which is funny, because that game had a different issue where they think sales were minus because of...
the videos. Yeah. Like, there's no branching story or anything. It is literally just...
That game is a isolated, like, you are going on this adventure for this time. That's it.
So, like, their sales took more of a hit because people would just watch the video on YouTube than people buying the game and refunding it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the people that have these shorter games that fit within the 2-hour window are probably losing more to YouTube than they are to Steam refunds.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at it that way, the 2-hour window doesn't matter. So, like, and if you do it on a percentage of the game, like, how does that, what do they consider to be the percentage?
I know, and that's the issue we're having now, is we don't define what's beating a game now. I understand that's a concern.
Well, and then, okay, so if you're doing that, how do you define, how do they establish the beat time? Like, is it just for the 2 weeks, there's no refunds? Which is real shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Because if there's going to be issues, it's going to be in those 2 weeks.
What if you had something more like, and this is just throwing a shit in there for a second. What if we had something like, we had the 2-hour policy, unless a team petitioned to Steam directly going, here is our game, let us show to you it's under this time frame, and then if you get approved then it's 30 minutes, or whatever we say that lower threshold is. Yes, it's on the team to do it, but at least you have that system in place.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what I mean by those little stuff you could do to at least make it friendly on the dev end of, like, let us at least go that thing of, it's infamous, like on PSN, is they deny a platinum trophy unless the team petitions it, but then the team still has the right to petition it and explain why.
That's totally different, but sure.
But it's the same idea of, like, you at least put that place in place of, like, let the team explain to you how this hurts them, or like, here's our exception rule if you get approved for an exception.
I don't think they're going to do anything like that. Just because if you do that, then I think you turn Steam into Epic.
Why?
Where all of a sudden everything has to be curated and fewer stuff gets out.
Which I don't know if it's a bad thing, I'm going to be honest with you, but...
I'm not saying it's a bad thing or a good thing, the curation.
Like, I'm going to say the controversial, even being a game dev thing, is I would like the Steam of 3 years ago back where you don't just get your game on Steam blindly. because right now I can pay $100 on my game on Steam, my games on Steam in an hour. I think that system is too easy.
It's also nice for people that, don't have the resources.
It is, but does the positive outweigh the negative? And I'm gonna argue the cluttering of your store and the destruction of a lot of things makes it not. And again, we have other stores that if you want to say here's this open platform, like you have something like it, which is the 100% open platform. But the idea of the curated platform is like still this thing of at least if I know on this and I buy a game here, there's at least a level of quality. Doesn't mean I like the game, doesn't mean the game's good, but there's a level of I know someone couldn't have shit a thing out on this store.
Yeah.
And we don't know that right now, and that's I think part of the Steam issue. Think about how many people talk about Steam a day when they're like, I can't, my game isn't found on there. So like at a certain point, they're like, Steam's not even. A lot of devs talk about it. They're like, Steam isn't always worth it, and that's kind of like we have someone like after being like, here's the opposite end of the spectrum, because they could be like, no, at least if you know your things on our platform, you'll at least get a better sense of eyeballs or a more like your bottom is not zero realistically anymore.
Yeah. Also, I mean, you think of, like, if you really look at Steam's store, if you're trying to find something, it's very easy. Like, the filters they have in place to, like, look at the new releases and be like, okay, I want Windows games that are action-adventure and cost, a certain range.
And I agree with you. But I think the other end of that issue is that like a lot of that stuff is tied to sales obviously on top. So you always have the game or two, and then that's it, and then the rest of it is you're like, how do I get my game to move from this junk? Like how do, like the Steam issue of standing out is like the App Store. You just you're the lucky or you're not.
Hold on, we're going to the Steam store. Okay.
From someone who does the semi-annual thing of like searching games for us to talk to people, it's like a shit store half the day. I've been like,
Let's go games. I'm just gonna go down to new and trending, new releases, and then go popular new releases, and then let's see, Windows. Yep. Let's go features. I want a game that has cloud support with workshop and trading cards, and that gets me 11 games.
right, but I'm gonna say that the thing of the moment we go into this menu, no, and this is not me bagging on say this menu system. I think it's a good menu system is. What percentage of players are we talking about already this deep in the menu system? We're talking about points at this point. We're not talking about dozens of points.
Yeah,
like, I think what it is you get 100% of people on the first page. To scroll to your new and trending, I think at that point we're still at the majority of people will realistically go here to look for game.
I think most people just scroll past the top part.
Right.
The featured and recommended.
I think we get to the popular releases, you still have 40. You can get some decent percentage. I think the moment we click to see more, I think we're talking about points on any given moment.
Well, there's only what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The rule of thumb is the moment I'm 3 clicks in, I lose 80% of my audience, and I'm 4 clicks in at that point.
There's only 10 games on the list.
And how many games released today?
Hold on.
I looked at games that released. Because this is popular releases. We're not talking about new releases. Then that's the thing.
Let's see. Well, and I should also filter out full games because I don't want DLC.
So, if I'm just clicking all new releases for January 30th, I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4,
You're at like
5, 6, 7, 8,
35,
9.
I think.
Right. Do you see the issue with that though? Like, how does for 33 of those 35 games, no one's ever gonna see it besides a person or two.
Okay, hold on. I'm stripping that number down because some of these are DLC for games that are already out,
But you at least get what my concern is on that.
or Japanese, or demos.
So I'm just gonna click games.
Yeah, I know.
I still
sorting
have
through it,
over a page.
Let's see. Subnautica Below Zero is technically DLC.
Is it? I don't know enough to know if it is.
Well, I think it's an expansion for.
That's weird because I thought it was like a full blown like we're doing the old fashioned expansion.
You might be able to just buy Below Zero.
That's why I don't know Subnautica.
It's an underwater.
I'm going to not count it if that's.
Oh yeah, no, it's a new game.
Okay.
Well, technically, I guess.
But it's a standalone purchase.
Let's see. Games that are available for purchase. 1, 2. We'll include Subnautica. 4, 6, 7. Oh, no. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We'll include this as free, so 14. There's 14 games that you can purchase that are English titles.
So let's say 14 on what's day of the week? Wednesday. So do you see what I'm saying though when I say the majority of those games are never going to be seen? I'm not saying they should be seen, by the way. I don't know.
Yeah, some of these I don't. One of them is called Wet Girl.
which I think goes back to my point though. Should these games be allowed on Steam? Like, should there be, in my head, there should be some level of Steam goes, we accept 10 games a day, or something. And then if we get 100 submissions, we have someone whose job it is to look at this and be like, is this at least on the list of acceptable? And I
also wonder how many of these are just basically Japanese games that somebody created in English.
How many are Japanese games and how many are just asset flip Unity games?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think some of these are also that.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't know if those games should, like, Japanese games, I think there's the line because it's cultural stuff, but like asset flip games. If your game is a blind asset flip game, and I can tell you by looking at that, I don't know if your game should be allowed on Steam.
So far, well, here's basically a ripoff of Bomberman.
Which I don't know if, again, ripoff's a relative term, so it's hard to say should ripoffs be allowed or not. But you get what I'm saying, though, like, the baseline of...
The game is called Bomber Barn, and its playstyle is exactly Bomberman.
Okay, then yeah. Then I'll agree with you more. I just don't know enough on it.
Like, it is... you blow up, you plant bombs and blow up things to trap people in and then blow them up.
Mm-hmm.
It's Bomberman. Also, how many of these are also early access? Like,
yeah,
it's a little harder to filter that out.
But you at least see my concern of like.
I think the early access is the problem.
And I might agree with you a lot. I don't know if early access is I think early access is a cool, great idea. I think the execution is the problem.
Yeah. But just the fact that there's no
filter on it.
There's no filter. Like, Below Zero is technically an early access game.
It's like Hades is an early access game, but like I also look at Hades and I go, yes. And I understand the point of early access is it's somewhat worth my money now and I helped develop it. But like something like Hades, I think I'm just gonna take the assumption from Subnautica based on the popularity of it is too, like they're at least an experience, well, Darkest Dungeon was, where it's worth my money, and then I'm getting a bonus of seeing this thing being developed. Like, I think the issue with early access is anything can be early access. It doesn't matter the state it's in.
Yeah, so that's probably the problem. That when you go in and look for...
How many games don't exist do we think receive 0 updates? I bet you it's a shocking percentage.
I'd say probably 90%.
Right, and I think that's the issue. And because all these games fall under early, it could be like listed on new games could be an early access game.
Yeah, like half the games I clicked through on new releases were early access.
Right, and
So
I think there's some little, it's like Greenlight. Greenlight used to be a separate process, and again, I'm not saying Greenlight was perfect either. But I'm saying I think Steam in its curation, or at least the quantity of junk is getting higher to the point of like that's why I point to Epic as like the breathing room. Because if I look at a game on the Epic Store, I at least know it is a game of some level of quality that they looked at right now. I'm not saying I'll like it or I think it's a good game, but there's something there that a human went, yes.
well, right now.
Right, and maybe in a year
I was gonna
point to
say
Epic
a
for saying
year
it's a
down the
game.
road when
Right, and a year down the road, I might be more on the side of what happened to this shit. But right now, I think Epic is a cool example of how a store could, in that regard, when it comes to it. Like it's, I think PlayStation, Xbox aren't that far behind Steam right now, which is a problem. Also,
yeah.
I think they're getting to that point way too quickly, and that's also a concern.
Also, it's interesting that uh, Division 2 is still $60, even though it's on the Epic Store.
But Metro jumped to 50. Yeah, that
So
is
it's
interesting.
clearly like, the people that are maybe putting their stuff on this, especially
Mm-hmm.
the big companies, just don't give a shit.
That could be. I'm not saying they all do, but that is totally interesting. I'll give you that. Sure. But also, I just think there's a bigger issue right now in the industry of like, and I'm gonna say the other controversial thing, which is kind of what we touched on earlier. Everyone has a right to try and make art. Not everyone has a right to make a living off making.
Yeah.
I think, and again, some people with Tone won't make it, but the whole point of like this kind of thing, it's like any other career. There is a bottleneck of how many percentage of people can make it. Like that's just a point blank truth.
Yeah.
And I think we need to look at that at a certain point and go, maybe for the sake of some of these stores, like the example of any given game on Steam that doesn't sell, that inherently it probably costed Valve more money to host this game than they made off of it.
Mm,
Because it cost them
maybe.
something.
Yeah.
You could say it's pennies, but if I made $0 as Valve, and this game costed me $1 to host every year, and I have a million of these games, I lose money in some capacity on those games. Why is it worth me keeping those games?
You lose money, but it's also such an insignificant amount of money compared
I
to
think
what they're making.
right. I think that's only because Valve is giant. But you at least get my consent on that. So, for example, I go, but like if I'm Valve and I'm at a certain point always want to make more money, why don't I just be like, fuck it, your game is the only thing in a year? It's off my store. Like I don't care. Like you have a year to
I
sell a copy or something.
But think of it this way. Okay, say it's $1 million that they lose on that hosting.
And I think don't go wrong, I'm spitballing numbers, but at least you understand my idea behind those numbers, right?
Yeah. How much do they make
A year.
a year just on Dota?
Profit? I'm guessing.
$20 million a year, probably.
I was thinking a couple dozen
At
mil. That makes
least.
sense to me. Because it's profit. You come where there is dev cost and research. No, I'm not saying they don't make profits. I'm saying there's other costs. It's not straight profit, for example.
Right, but they're making at least $20 million a
Yeah,
year.
I'll say that's a valid, fair number to say.
So take $1 million out of that. $19 million pure profit on one game.
Mm. Well, they only make one game.
Well, they've got CS:GO and they've got.
You know, I'm more joking. Yeah.
I know, but there's other stuff that they make a shit ton of money on.
And that's true.
So to them, it doesn't matter.
To them, it doesn't matter, but I'm just saying at a certain point, though, it's clogging your store, and like you can make your store better.
think of a grocery store.
Okay.
Right, you walk into a Super Walmart, and they have, down the, I don't know, let's go down the soup aisle, right? Campbell's has their giant display.
Right.
And then there's like a single column of this one brand. And nobody ever buys it because everybody buys Campbell's, but they've still got that slot.
Right, but they don't buy more of it. And that's, I think, the physical part, I think, with the analogy breaks is, you're right, but they won't buy more of that product next time. And buying more of the product, the shelf space and buying that product is the equivalent of the digital space of server cost.
Yeah.
So they'll buy that product once, and then when that product expires, they're done with that product.
Yeah, but they usually let it go
until it expires. But
they'll let it go a considerable amount. Like, it'll be expired, but then they may order like one more.
Right.
So that could be 6 years.
But we're not seeing that even on this.
Well, but I mean, think about it, right? Like, early access is what, 4 or 5 years old?
Yeah, something like that. I think
like on Steam, the early access on Steam is about 4 years old.
Is Darkest Dungeon the one of the first bigger access you could think of? As one of my first I could think of, and that was like.
Well, I can think of games that were like
Darkest Dungeon was it was not only it came out access in like 2015. That makes sense.
I was gonna say I can think of games that were for sale, but they weren't billed as early access.
Mm-hmm.
But they were very clearly like, beta level games.
Mm-hmm. Minecraft is the earliest known early access game technically.
Well, it depends on how you define early access.
I know, it's funny. I was more caring about Steam, but it was funny that like that's what they defined.
Yeah. So yeah, but like, next car game like BeamNG. Like, these are next car game's officially out, but BeamNG isn't officially out, and that game's 9 years old now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, DayZ would be one of the first. No, it's 2013.
Which technically DayZ's a mod, so.
But okay, but when they sold it as a thing.
Yeah, it depends on how you define.
I would define it as when you're selling it as a standalone thing.
Yeah. Yeah, standalone DayZ, yes.
That's why when I say DayZ, I mean more that idea of like a standalone thing.
Which standalone DayZ is actually different from the DayZ mod, so.
Right.
But yeah. You want to go ahead and wrap this shindig up?
Sure. So, it's time for us to discuss Movie Club.
Yep.
I have a song if you're ready for it.
You can sing it. I'll just cut it out later.
Fine. Continue with your shenanigans. I had my guitar on me and everything.
The part 2 of Movie Club episode, was it 5?
It'll be 6 when we move it up there, but yeah, sure.
No, hold on. I guess technically it's the second part of 4.
Okay.
Because really, this is, if you take out the end of the year episode, like the game of the year and stuff
they are numbered different. So.
Yeah. So this is the second part of episode 4, which episode 4 part A was we watched 2009's Star Trek. For the second part, Mike and I will be watching the Lego Movie Part 2.
Everything is awesome.
Which comes out, is it February 8th?
I thought it was the 8th. I wrote down the 8th on my calendar, so I hope it is.
Lego Movie 2.
Everything is awesome.
Well, yeah. It's the 8th.
Was everything awesome?
This is funny. The description of it is, the citizens of Bricksburg face a dangerous new threat when Lego Duplo invaders from outer space start to wreck everything in their path. Which is the kids' Lego, the big, big blocks.
Funny as hell. It reminds me of, this is gonna sound weird, Toy Story 3 in the sense of like, the new toys come to town.
Yeah, it could be that. Also, the poster looks like Star Wars.
Of course it does. But which is funny because yeah. So it's also interesting because like Lego is owned by Warner, so they get to any Warner property they just have blind access to. Is my understanding.
And from what I've heard, I don't know if this is still the case for the second one, but especially like the games and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was anything that Lego had marketing stuff for.
Mm-hmm.
So even if Lego had like Disney stuff, they could do that.
Yeah, because I think because it technically fell under because they were using Legos to make it, it fell under their rules basically.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see because obviously there's Lego Batman.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see if there's a Frozen thing in Lego 2 or not.
So breaking news as we are ending the recording on January 30th, 2019. The Xbox Live network is down, including their site that says if their network is down. Which I think is the only thing I care about the story is because this site that shows if it's down is also down.
That sounds like something that would happen at Sony.
Right? Because again, the reason you have a down site is because they're separate in the back end, which is why it's ironic.
I wonder if that means Microsoft backend is down.
No, because I bet you if I go to Office, it still works. Microsoft Office is up.
So I wonder what.
It's probably the Xbox division.
So what backend is down?
Right, because Xbox.com is working. It must just be their live network itself.
I wonder if Xbox.com is on the
Microsoft end.
Yeah, Microsoft end, whereas like live and all that is on the Xbox end.
That would make sense.
So maybe the stuff that's down is on the Xbox end and not the Microsoft end.
Mm-hmm. It's also weird that the first thing that pops for both Xbox and PlayStation.com is Kingdom Hearts 3. We live in a weird time, man. We live in a weird time.
I saw the quick look for Kingdom Hearts 3, and if you want to get me uninterested in something, they succeeded in it, that's for sure.
I'm so excited. I don't have time this second, but I'm going to get to that game by next episode. We'll discuss Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts 3 to me looks like the biggest just like fanboy jerk-off session you'll ever see.
So you'll get my lube in the mail? Got it. You know what's terrifying too? Kingdom Hearts 3 is the beginning of the first saga planned in the series. The first saga.
It's Japanese, what do you expect?
But that's what I when they pitched it like a year ago, they're like, yeah, it's the end of the first chapter. And I was like, excuse me?
Well, that's like, I mean, it's not a one for one, but the Metal Gear saga.
Yeah.
Was like, before all this shit happened, like, 5 was supposed to be a huge part in, like,
yeah, I know.
You know, the Venom storyline, which hadn't really been touched on.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the Metal Gear storyline is about as convoluted as you can get.
Mm-hmm.
That is still one storyline.
I see, you're pushing the term one storyline to me. Metal Gear.
Well, but okay, so it started with
you're talking
Boss.
To me, it's two storylines. We're talking about solid, not solid, inherently.
Well, the stuff that happens in Metal Gear happens after MGS 3 and 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It gets weird. That's what I mean by that. It's weird to define it as a story.
Well, but it still happens in the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one storyline. It's just out of order.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the proper way to play the storyline now would be really weird, because you would start at 3, you would go to Peace Walker, then you would play Metal Gear 1 and 2, then you would play 5, then 1, 2, 4, Revengeance.
Mm-hmm.
I think is how it would go now.
Mm-hmm.
I took out Acid because I
Yeah,
don't think it
I
really
agree.
does anything in the story. I never played them, but I don't think they really consider that.
I don't think they do either.
So yeah, that's a wrap up to this episode.
Oh, boy, was an episode.
Um, I don't think we'll tack it on to the end because of how long this episode is, so we'll
That's
put it
fine.
as its
So
own thing.
within a day or two of this episode, either before or after, we'll see. You should see an interview that me and AJ did. Where wow, yeah, I'm having strokes
Kevin?
here. Yeah, with Kevin about his brand new game tech support error unknown, which I think was an interesting conversation we all had about the game.
It was interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, check that out. We'll catch you guys next time. Remember, you can find me on Twitter at Mikey_Roni. You can find AJ at the Dumb Fuck Michiganer. You can remember to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, any podcast service of your choice. Anything else, AJ?
It's Becky Lynch's 32nd birthday as of the day we're recording this.
I'm sorry, you mean the soon-to-be SmackDown Women's Champion.
Soon to be, didn't she choose Rousey? So she would
Oh, yeah,
go
I
to
meant
Raw.
yeah, bro.
And that would be in April, so that's not very soon.
Valid. That was a weird pay-per-view, man. I'm
Also, the
just saying,
Shield is officially disbanded because
yeah.
Dean's leaving after Mania, and who knows when Roman will get back.
And also, the other thing, the most upsetting moment of truth is that R-Truth is the SmackDown champ.
It's not upsetting. That guy is hilarious.
I hate R-Truth so much.
The hemp title that they did was actually pretty cool. I don't know if you saw a photo of it.
Mm-mm. Oh, I saw some of it, yeah.
There's a on the Squared Circle subreddit. There's a bigger image of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess we'll call it there, and we will catch you guys.
Peace.